So the big Galactico signing, the player that Florentino Perez promised the Madridistas last Thursday. And it seems that the transfer bombshell was Julian Alvarez. Who knew? Actually, I guess I did. Because on Thursday, when he came out and he said what he said, I told everyone, guys, I think Julian Alvarez might be the surprise signing. He might be the player that Real Madrid are trying to sign, because it's very easy to predict a player like Juan Alves. It's very easy to predict a player like Vitinha. I mean, he kind of, shortened the guesses by saying it wouldn't be a Premier League player. It wouldn't be a player like Olise, who many people thought it was. It wouldn't be Harry Kane. It wouldn't be Haaland. It wouldn't be any of the guys that are the obvious Galactico level signs. But it is a Galactico. And he gave hints. He talked about it being a Champions League club. So it wasn't a Premier League club. It wasn't some of the big names that are obviously the ones that many are looking at. So it narrows it down to either the French league or in the La Liga. But many people didn't think that it would be in La Liga, because then that would mean the Galactico signer would either have to come out of either Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. Now, the only deals that would not just break the internet but the whole of world football would have been Lamine Yamal or a Pedri or even a Rafinha making the move. But let's be honest, the way Barcelona have structured those deals for those players, it is impossible for Real Madrid to be able to buy those players. Absolutely, categorically impossible. So then you narrowed it down. Who is the player whose club has come out and said that they're open to selling for 150 million? Oh, that's right. It was Atletico Madrid offering 150, and they would negotiate, they would accept. However, Real Madrid took that impression of what they said and they thought that it applied to everyone. They thought it applied to them. And I told everyone I wouldn't be surprised if Alvarez was the guy. However, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Real Madrid thought that they were also one of the teams who that rule applied to. Well, Atletico Madrid had to put them in their place, ladies and gentlemen, because yes, they actually officially submitted the 150 million bid Real Madrid to Atletico Madrid for Julian Alvarez. And surprise, 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 Atletico Madrid said no. Atletico Madrid wouldn't dream of selling their best player to their crosstown rivals. And is anyone surprised? I think the biggest shock would have been if Atletico Madrid had such a lack of ambition that they would actually sell their golden boy to their literal rivals. Not title rivals, city rivals. And all of the talk, all of this saga, as a Barca fan, has been hilarious to watch. Many people thought that as a Barca fan, I would be rattled, or many Barca fans, we would be rattled. But truth is, as a Barca fan, I found this whole saga hilarious. Because, first of all, Real Madrid thinking that they are so entitled that they thought they could walk up to Atletico Madrid and ask for their best player, and Atletico Madrid would have just said yes. It's funny to me. That's the first thing. The second thing is how Atletico Madrid actually rejected this deal, because it's one thing rebuffing this deal. But basically, Atletico Madrid made it very clear that if you guys want to sign Alvarez, there's only one way you guys are going to sign him. And that is to trigger the buyout clause. And what is the buyout clause? Well, it's nothing much. Just €500 million. But I'm sure Real Madrid, you guys can figure it out. Yeah, go ahead. Trigger the buyout clause. And the funny thing is, that's not even all. You can see how on edge Atletico Madrid have been the past few weeks. I mean, we saw it with Barcelona when we offered the 100 million. When their Twitter account, the official Twitter account, made throws on Barcelona, having fun, laughing at us, making pictures, putting photoshops of Lamine Yamal, putting photoshops of Rafinha, putting photoshops of Pedri, right? Making fun, laughing at us, talking about vice presidents and stuff like that, clearly showing how emotional they are. And surprise, surprise, once again, their emotion showed again. Because not only did they reject this deal, and not only did they say, trigger the buyout clause, but they went a step further. Atletico Madrid, they actually came out and actually called out Real Madrid for their censoring of their club. Because basically they mentioned how the Pope, who, all the talk was he is a Real Madrid fan. He is a Real Madrid fan. I mean, we saw Florentino Perez give the Pope a shirt of Real Madrid with the number 1 with the Pope's name on it. And the funny thing is, in that video apparently from this, which is something I didn't even know, but it turns out that during the full interview of the Pope, he actually mentioned that he was also an Atletico Madrid fan, which mysteriously wasn't actually shown in the official clip at Real Madrid. I guess, Real Madrid just couldn't handle, not being the center of attention. And Atletico Madrid went further. They talked about how they're not interested in selling them. And they even went as far as to say, hey, our presidents might have a good relationship. So how about you stop stealing our academy players? Which is hilarious. Now, obviously, I don't really know much about any Atletico Madrid. I know there's some, obviously, the biggest one being Raul, right? Raul Gonzalez, who moved from Atletico Madrid's academy to Real Madrid, right? We've seen some players, who've made the move, who play for both Atletico and Real Madrid, right? Even through, history, right? We remember Jose Antonio Reyes, RIP, right? He left Real Madrid to join Atletico Madrid back in 2009, right? So this is not something new in football, right? But the funniest thing for me was how the social media was reacting to this whole situation, making videos of, their videos of, Pablo Barrios, who is Atletico Madrid's midfielder in a Real Madrid show because he was from the Real Madrid academy, right? And basically, Raul, like I mentioned, in an Atletico Madrid show back in the early 90s. But in my honest opinion as a Barca fan, this was hilarious to watch. Watching these two clubs acting like a bunch of petty little children was hilarious. And this is the thing. At the end of the day, what was it all for? Because Atletico Madrid are now willing to sell. And now it seems that Florentino Perez might have been lying to his fans, right? And all of Real Madrid. Because, yeah, he might have submitted the bid. But guess what? I guess that was the idea, submitting the bid. But as far as I'm concerned, Real Madrid, you guys are a laughing stock. And now you guys have had your pants pulled. And for what reason? Just for a petty little battle? Just to try to steal one of our targets? Pathetic. But it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think of everything I said in the comment section below. Big up to every single one of you guys. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and peace. Take care.